guys, it's Amy and you have found Amy Loves Crochet. Thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate when you click on my video and want to see what's going on with me. I'm kind of in a giddy mood today, so I'm sorry if I ramble off a little bit today. There's a few things that are driving my mood. I've got some extra recording I need to do today because we're going to go out of town next week because it's my birthday. I'm actually going to be posting this video on my birthday. So my hubby has set up a little getaway we're going to take the fifth wheel and go out for the first time this season. We didn't go at all last year. We had couple of different issues that were keeping us landlocked, but now we're going to go ahead and travel a little bit. So we've got a 4-day plan going on and I'm super excited for it. So that's going to be over a Saturday over the weekend, obviously. And so it's going to take up one of my recording days. So I've got to get that done today. So quick. So with my birthday, I'm kind of looking at where this year has taken me, where this past year has taken me. Last year at this time, I was trying to get the courage up to start my YouTube channel, and I didn't quite make it by my birthday like I wanted to, but into April, just a couple weeks later into April, I did get it started. So I can't even believe a year has gone by. You guys have made this so spectacular and such a beautiful part of my life. I just thank you so much. So in addition to that, you know, I started out just being, what my mindset was to make content available to people that I was looking for. So I go, I've got this yarn. What should I do with it? And so I would search for people who had used that yarn to see what they did with it. And that's kind of what started this for me, because I wasn't finding what I was looking for. And if I was looking for it, I know some of you guys might be looking for it. So I decided, why not? I like to talk, and I like yarn, and I like to crochet. So why not put that all together and provide a resource that maybe nobody will ever see, but it'll feel good that I'm putting it out there. And, you know, if my crochet club here that I started in my town, if they were the only ones who would ever see it, then that was fantastic. And I know Mom's watching it from heaven, you know. And so here we are a year later, and I got the little notification from YouTube that they're going to start the monetization process. I've reached the threshold. That blows my mind. I can't even tell you guys what that means. Like, just to do what makes me feel good and makes me feel happy. Number one, that so many of you have commented that you're receiving tips and tricks and you enjoy your time with me, and that's just fantastic. But now to actually, even if I earn a penny, you know, like, you gotta be kidding me. Is this for real? Pinch, pinch, pinch. So thank you all for your continued support. It just blows my mind how much I am being found out there, you know. So this video, I wanted to talk about something that was a long time in the planning, I think, sort of process. And I couldn't be happier with it. I can't imagine having produced something that I would be more happy with than this. So I hope you all enjoy it as much as I did. And, you know, to take something that was a pattern for a scarf and turn it into a blanket, that's cool. I haven't done that before. Maybe I have, I don't know. You know, there's only so many stitches that we do, and they only can end up so many different ways, right? So the first color that I picked up to use that was in my stash was this blue, and I created a scarf from that and just thought, that's not really looking the way that I would want it to. So in my stash, I also had this purple and I had some white. So I thought, let's see if I can make kind of some stripy blanket out of what I have in my stash, because I'm just trying to use up my stash. But I didn't want to use the variegated, because sometimes when you use a variegated with a really holy stitch, or a lacy stitch, you know, you lose a lot of the color, and then your color is fighting your pattern. You either want a pattern with a solid color or use a great variegated with a solid pattern, in my opinion anyway. So I had one white and I had one blue, and I'm looking at the purple, and it just wasn't hitting me. It just was not hitting me. So I thought, well, I get some other blues and put some blues, you know. So long story short, I've got my rainbow colors. So Amy went to town, happy as a kid in a candy store, you know, happy as an Amy in a yarn store. And I could not wait to finish the stripes that in each of the colors so that I could start putting the blanket together. But then that became a thought process, because when I was connecting them, you know, you guys know that with my rainbowy stuff, I really like to connect with like a seamless look, so that the colors are just right up next to each other and you don't see the seam that join those two sides. I wanted to make sure that I had it in the right order, and I wanted to make sure that they were all right side up. And when I started to connect them, I really didn't like the way my slip stitches were going. And then I lined them up and sewed all the way. I put two pieces together and sewed all the way up, and was somehow missed my button, and I was lopsided up at the top, so I had to undo that whole thing. So it took a couple of tries before I actually started to get them together the way that I wanted them. But here is my finished product. Ta-da! Oh my God, you guys, I am so over the moon. I cannot even tell you. You know, sometimes when I was looking at the different colors, at the different shades of color, and I thought, is that too red? No, that's right. Is that green? Is it too light green, too limey, neon-y green? No, that's okay. Should this have been a darker purple? No, I think it's just fine. So I am in love, love, love. So it is about 33 by 42. So it's great for a lap blanket. For me, it's, you know, again, touching the floor, it's up to my waistness, whatever. For a little kid, I just absolutely love it. So here you can see what a great stitch it is. Oh, it's kind of hard to see. I'll show you down below on the table, but so yeah, I mean, super easy, super repeat pattern. The sides are the same as each other all the way, so the repeats only change the center part right here. So it was really, really easy to keep on track of where I was and know what my next stitches were going to be, besides the fact that it just kind of fits into the pattern. You can't help but follow it, you know, maybe even without a piece of paper is what I'm trying to say. So I got this pattern out of my One Skein Wonder book. You guys have seen this before, and I wanted to share with you what it looks like in the book, what caught my attention. It is in the worsted weight section, in the medium weight section, but I wanted to go ahead and work it up in different yarn weights to show you what it would look like. So the first example I have here to share with you is done with Lion Brand Cupcake yarn. This is a size 3 yarn, and it suggests a 5mm hook, but I wanted to try this pattern out with a 3.75. So, my focus here. There you go. And I really like how cute and lacy it looks. You could use this size yarn to work with a lot of different applications. Here is also a 3-weight yarn, but I did a 4mm hook, and I used a 4mm hook, and I used variegated yarn so that you could really see how much of the pattern gets lost. I also wanted to show you an example of changing up the sides a little bit, because as you'll see, one side has 2 double crochets and the other side just has 1. So if you want to drop one of the stitches and just do you know, 1 double crochet up the sides, that's what that would look like. I think it's a little bit lacking now that I've been using the pattern the way it's written. But on the other hand, if you wanted to add a second double crochet to both sides, then this is what it would end up looking like. So that's really up to you. I'm going to go ahead and show you how it is in the book, though, how the pattern was written in the book. So this is Bernat Pop, and so this, I guess, is what the pattern in the book and the photo in the book, you know, it kind of looks just like that, right? Ta-da! So then what I did on my giant scarf here is I really wanted to go up in size, so I did a bulky weight yarn. This is a 6.5mm hook. Look, I even have to come out on my zoom on my camera so you can see it. It's just massive. So this was the Colorama Ogo, and I used 2 complete Ogos, including all the tassels. So the book called for only 11 tassels per side, but I really thought that that was lacking. And I just built the scarf to have 1 for each stitch, and then looked back at the book and realized I'd put in more than they intended to, but I just love it. So, but my blanket that you see in the beginning is made up of 3 different kinds of yarns, in case you didn't hear me say that. I've got the Red Heart Soft and the Soft and Shiny by Loops and Threads, and then also Karen Simply Soft. So these all kind of mix and match all together. And I wanted to go down on my hook size. They suggest a 5 and a 5.5 millimeter hook, but I wanted to do this in a smaller hook. I did this in a 4, just so that it would be kind of more compact. That's just the choice I made based on the examples that I've shown you here. Is this not the most gorgeous thing ever? I think I do want to put some more rounds of the border. That looks a little bit small, but just seeing all the colors together like this, because it's kind of folded up on the table, but now that when I unfold it to share with you again, I just love it. All right, so to share up some sizes with you, the purple one here, this is the Cupcake yarn by Lion Brand. That's a size 3, and this one here is by Bernat Softy Baby, and it is also a size 3. But this one I used a 3.75 millimeter hook, and this one, whoops, and this one I used a 4, so you can see the size difference there. Oops, here we are down at the bottom. So then this one is also a size 4 hook, but a size 4 yarn. So there's the difference between those. This is size 3 yarn, and this is size 4 yarn with the same hook. And then we've got my big one. Can't even get him in the same shot. This guy is super wide. He's about 12 inches wide. Can't even get it in the same shot there. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the tutorial now. I think I've chit-chatted long enough. So the pattern starts with a chain of 30. So go ahead and choose whatever kind of yarn you want to use. And, you know, we say corresponding hook size, but you can see that by changing up the hook size, you can change up the end result. And so that's completely up to you. That's what I really love about crochet. So I'm just going to use some standard worsted weight here with a 5 millimeter hook. And I've got my 30 chains in place. Let me double check I didn't lose any. So once you have a chain of 30, we're going to start by doing a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a double crochet. That'll give you the 2 double crochets on the beginning of the row. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip 2, 1, 2, and in that 3rd stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. And in the next 2 stitches, we'll do 1 double crochet each. So we'll have 3 double crochets next to each other. Oops. Okay, and then we're going to chain 3. Oops. And then do 3 more double crochets, and don't skip any. We're just going to go right into that next one. And do 3 double crochets in the next 1 double crochet in the next 3 stitches. So that's what we look like so far. All right, and then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to skip 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And in that next one, we are going to do a V. So it's a double crochet, and then we're going to do 3 chains, and then a double crochet back into that same spot. Okay, so then we're going to do another 4 chains, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip 4 down here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and in that next one, we're going to do a double crochet in that stitch. Oops. A double crochet in the next stitch. So we're just repeating what's on the other side. And so we've got 3 double crochets in a row. And then we're going to chain 3. and do another 3 double crochets without skipping any stitches. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2, and you should have 3 more stitches here. We're going to skip those 2 and put a double crochet in the last stitch. Okay. So that's the foundation row, and this, we're going to call this next one row 1, and it's the beginning of what your repeat is going to be. So chain 3 and turn your work, and then it calls for a double crochet in the same, and this is where the the beginning of each row gets 2 double crochets. We're going to do chain 2, and then you can just jump into this chain space from now on, and we're going to do that same 3 double crochets, 3 chains, and then 3 double crochets all into this chain space. So 3 double crochets, chain 3, and then 3 double crochets. Oops. Okay, so then this section is going to be a chain 3, and then we're going to do 7 double crochets into that V space. 1, 7 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And scooch those over if you need to center those a bit. Oh, my yarn, come on. Okay, chain 3, and then we're going to repeat the side. And for the sake of reference, I call this the 3 3 3 because it's 3 double crochets. Oops. 2, 3, and then 3 chains, and then 3 double crochets. You're going to chain 2 and jump all the way over to the very last double crochet here and do 1 double crochet. So again, we start every row with 2 double crochets and end every row with 1 double crochet. So chain 3, and we'll start row 2, sorry. So double crochet in that same stitch to give you your edge of 2 double crochets, chain 2, jump right on over to the 3 3 3s, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. So from here we are going to start our double trebles, and to do that you wrap your yarn 3 times, and then what we're going to do is come down here in between the double crochets of those 7. So just like a double crochet, whoops, you yarn over and pull through 2, and I like to kind of keep this pinched up close so that we don't have a gaping hole at the front. It might take you a few times if you haven't done double trebles before to get this much yarn going on without spacing. So yarn over and pull through 2 until you get to the end. And if this looks super gappiosa to you and you don't like it, let it go and try it again. That's all I can say. So once you've got your double treble in there, you're going to chain 2, wrap your yarn 3 times, and do it to the next one. So here's that first one. Here's where we're going to go for this one. 2, 2, 2, and 2. And then chain 2. Wrap your yarn 3 times and do it again to the next, in between the next 2 double crochets. Yarn over 2, yarn over 2, yarn over 2, yarn over 2, chain 2, wrap your yarn 3 times. We're going to go in again. Oops. Okay. 2, 2. Oh, I'm caught up. 2 and 2, chain 2, wrap your yarn 3 times. You can start to do this without even looking, I promise. Chain 2, wrap your yarn 3 times, and pull through 2, pull through 2, pull through 2. I lost it. Darn. I was on a roll there. Okay, 2, 2, 2, and 2. So at the end of that section, you should have these 5 long double treble spaces, and each one of them has a chain 2 in between. There was no chains in between our 3, 3, 3 and the double trebles. So from here, we're going to go straight into the 3, 3, 3 and do that section. 3 double crochets, 3 chains, 3 double crochets. Whoops. And then we're going to chain 2 and jump over to the last double crochet. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. Okay. So here's where we are at the end of round 2. Okay, so round 3, oops, we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. This part never changes. And we're going to double crochet in that same stitch. So that gives us 2 double crochets on the end. Pardon my knot. We're going to chain 2. Oops, jump over to the 3, 3, 3. 3 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 double crochet. When I was making my notes from the book, it took me a while to understand that this part of each row was exactly the same, so I was making a whole lot more notes than I needed to. This is really the only section of notes that you need to write out, because all of this is the same each time. Okay, so again, for this row, we do not chain any after our 3, 3, 3. We're just going to go into the space here and do a slip stitch, chain 2, and a slip stitch into each of these double treble spaces. So jump over to the next one, slip stitch, chain 2, and then slip stitch in that same one. Slip stitch to the next one, chain 2, slip stitch in the same spot, same space. Slip stitch, chain 2, gives you these great little picots across the top. They're so cute. Slip stitch, chain 2, and slip stitch. Okay. So again, we're not going to do any chains to jump into the 3, 3, 3. Just right from there, we're just going to go 3 double crochets, whoops, 3 chains, and 3 double crochets. And 3, and then every row ends with chain 2 and jump on over to that double crochet for 1 double crochet. All right, so cute little picot tops across the double crochet, or the double trebles. Those aren't words that my brain uses often together anyway. All right, and the final row of our repeat, for row 4, we're going to chain 3. Every row starts the same like this, double into the same, so that you've got 2 doubles on that side. We're going to chain 2, do our 3, 3, 3s, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and 3 here. Double crochets. Okay. You've seen this next part before because it's part of the foundation row. So we're going to chain 4. And then we're going to do our V-stitch in this middle picot here. So that's a double crochet, 3 chains, and then a double crochet back into the same picot there. And that creates that V that we're going to put 7 double crochets into in the next round. So then end with, or not end, but do your chain 4, and that'll take you back to your 3, 3, 3. Whoops. That'll take you back to your 3, 3, 3 section. You'll knock that out again. 1, 2, 3 double crochets, 3 chains, and 3 double crochets all into that space. And then our chain 2, and end on a double crochet in the top of that 3 chain. So that is the end of the repeat. From here, our next row is going to be row 1 again. That is the row of the 7 double crochets here. And then the next row is going to be our double trebles that go down into those 7. And then the next one would be this picot row. And then the next one is this one again. So we just repeat those 4 rows over and over. The book does show the scarf ends in this manner. Personally, I like the way it looked better. I kind of preferred the fan to be the top of my blanket when I was making my blankets, or the rainbow blanket. But for the scarf itself, I thought it was just really odd for them to say that you're going to end it on an uneven row. Like it's not a straight row, like when you start the front end of a scarf, you know, you're starting with a chain, so your row is, you've got a flat row. There's no flat row here, and in the book just says to tie on tassels, but it doesn't show you a picture of that, so I think that was kind of janky if you ask me. But in any event, Amy did her own thing and just added a row of chains here, single crochets across the parts that were applicable, so that I could have the same count of stitches here. So the same amount of tassels would be tied on in the same way, and that both ends would look the same. So continue repeating rows 1 through 4 as long as you want your project to be. I'll go ahead and put timestamps down in the description below so that you can repeat certain rows if you need to. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for sitting with me. Have a good day. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for your time today. I really hope you enjoyed the tutorial and that you're going to give it a try, and let me know down in the comments if you have tried it and what you thought of the pattern. I appreciate your time so much, you guys. Have a wonderfully blessed day, and I hope I'll see you again. Bye-bye.